Broadcasting live from the studios of World Dairy Expo in Madison, Wisconsin, USA. This is WXPO News.
Hello, and welcome to WXPO News at 10 on the final day of the 52nd Annual World Dairy Expo. It's October 6th, and I'm Laura Hirschleb. Here's what's coming up. Yesterday was a full day of naming champions on the colored shavings, and Tony was ready to tango. Tony, the winning 5-year-old cow, ended her day as grand champion of the International Guernsey Show. And in the other half of the show ring, the International Red and White Show was also busy naming champions as Oakfield A Champagne rose to the top of the breed for West Coast Holsteins. We have full results from all the breed shows coming up. It takes many hands, lots of hours, and a true commitment to making World Dairy Expo the best that it can be each year. These words ring so incredibly true for all of the members of the Badger Dairy Club who work at the show around busy class schedules to make so many things at World Dairy Expo happen. Hear more about their efforts later. And as the 52nd World Dairy Expo closes this evening with the selection of the Supreme Champions, we'll look back at the numbers and have some special visitors with us to share a preview of what's to come tonight. But first, Willowbrook LeBron Tony is taking home the $1,000 Udder Comfort Grand Champion Cash Award after being tapped as the Grand Champion female of the International Guernsey Show yesterday on the colored shavings. Tony, owned by Jake Boer of West Middlesex, Pennsylvania, won the 5-year-old cow class before winning Senior Champion Female on her way to being named Grand Champion. Reserve Grand Champion honors were awarded to the winning 6-year-old and older cow, High Gurnview Dancing Diva. She was owned by Brian and Christy Dinterman of Orangeville, Illinois. Meanwhile, High Gurnview Diva Designer, owned by Riley Zettel, of Rock City, Illinois, garnered Grand Champion honors in the 2018 International Junior Guernsey Show at World Dairy Expo. Designer had a big day. She first won her class of junior 3-year-old cows. Then she went on to be selected of intermediate champion of the junior and open shows before her crowning moment. Just minutes before, and perhaps you noticed the name resemblances, her dam was named Reserve Grand Champion of the open show. Designer and Zettel received the $500 Udder Comfort Grand Champion Cash Award and the Lillian and Keith King and Jim King Grand Champion of the Junior Show Award for this achievement. Warwick Manor Ty Carter received Reserve Grand Champion honors of the Junior Guernsey Show. She is owned by Kayla, Carly, and Colby Stolzfus of East Earl, Pennsylvania. Official Judge Blair Weeks from Pleasant Valley, Prince Edward Island, Canada, and Associate Judge Tom DeGroot from Rosedale, British Columbia, placed 268 entries in this year's International Red and White Show, which also concluded yesterday. Oakfield A Champagne Red, exhibited by West Coast Holsteins of Chilliwack, British Columbia, had a big day on her first trip across the colored shavings, beginning it by winning the junior 3-year-old class. But the day was just getting started for her and West Coast Holsteins. She went on to be named intermediate champion and then grand champion. West Coast would finish the day with the Grand Champion bred and owned cow and as being named premier exhibitor of the show. Reserve Grand Champion of the International Red and White Open Show went to Highcroft Absolute Lily Red, exhibited by Steve Smith and Anthony Crothers of Nicholasville, Kentucky. Robin Hood Pretty in Red sure lived up to her name yesterday as she was named Grand Champion of the International Junior Red and White Show. Pretty in Red was the first place junior in the 4-year-old cow class before going on to be named senior and grand champion of the junior show. Pretty in Red is owned by Reagan Demmer of Pisota, Iowa, and was presented the $500 Udder Comfort Grand Champion Cash Award and the Lillian and Keith King and Jim King Grand Champion of the Junior Show Award. Miss AOL Diamondback Raspberry Red, shown by Jaden Kennedy, Caroline, and Andrew Kimball of Windham, Maine, was the winning yearling in milk and intermediate champion of the junior show. When we come back, a preview in tonight's closing ceremony.
When a new calf hits the ground, his clock starts ticking. A belly full of colostrum gives him his best odds, but if he doesn't get any, his time starts running out. That's when you grab a bag of Oxford Ag Colostrum in their patented feeding system. Fill them with warm water, shake it to mix, feed it with a tube or nipple, and you are done. No bucket, no bottle, no mess, and right on time. Get yours at oxfordag.com. Costs less than a dead calf.
Welcome back. We are looking live at the large fiberglass cows that are located outside of the arena building. We'll have commercial exhibits open until 5 p.m. today. The Alliant Energy Center, the home of World Dairy Expo, is a large campus that spans more than 150 acres. Due to its size and intricate configuration, planning is needed to make the facility the foundation of World Dairy Expo each year. So much of this work is done by the University of Wisconsin-Madison's Badger Dairy Club. In symphony with the World Dairy Expo staff, cattle show superintendents, and committees, this group of students is truly an invaluable resource to the show each year. Joining me this morning is General Chair Riley Miller. Thank you, Riley, for taking some time out of your busy schedule and morning. Can you tell our viewers just a little bit about yourself, where you come from, and how you kind of realize that you might be interested in being General Chair for World Dairy Expo?
So I grew up on my family's small dairy farm in Orrville, Wisconsin, and I graduated from Evansville High School. I'm currently a senior at UW-Madison studying in dairy science, and my freshman year I put in many hours here, and so that led me to become the show ring chair my sophomore year, and I really enjoyed working with the other members and getting to know everybody. So I figured I would take the step to become the co-general chair and then the general chair this year.
That's wonderful. So have there been any major surprises this week for you? I mean, certainly Mother Nature has not been particularly forgiving, but what's maybe been the strangest thing that you've had to do, or another member, one of the other chairs for BDC that you've had to do?
One of the strangest things is actually relating to these couches. We had to move these couches because the white stitching was too white. So we had to take the couches across campus and back.
Yes.
That was probably the weirdest thing we had to do.
Most unique thing. Yeah, exactly. How many BDC members are working here at the show this year?
Throughout the whole entire week, there will be about 80 of us. Okay. And so each day there's around 40 of us that'll be here.
Nice.
And so the number of hours ranges. We actually have requirements for Badger Dairy Club. So freshmen are required to work 10 hours, upperclassmen are 20, and then the officer team is required to work 25.
Good.
So everyone ranges a little different. The chairs, there's 16 chairs, myself included. We work anywhere from 120 to 200 hours.
Wow. In how many days?
About 3 weeks, give or take.
Yeah, that's a lot of hours to squeeze into a short period of time. How many different areas of the show, or how many different kind of areas of chair people are there for BDC, for World Dairy Expo?
So there's the general chair, like myself, and then I have a co-general that works underneath me. He will be taking my position next year, so I'm kind of training him right now. And then we have 3 ladies in the show ring. So their main job is to build the display from the ground up, make sure the ring and the colored shavings are all good to go throughout the whole entire show. And then we have 2 ladies in the milk house, so they're the ones that always be helping the exhibitors in there. And then we also have 2 guys on the grounds, so they'll pick up all of the milk, push all the manure, pull all the manure, stuff like that. And then we also have 3 signage chairs. So all the signs you see around here, they spend lots of hours trying to get them all set up, keep them up.
Yeah, it's a lot of assembly to put them all together.
Yeah,
right?
you definitely learn how to build when you're working
in
here.
a hurry, right? Yeah.
And then the cheese stand, we have 2 cheese stand chairs there, and one of them is a 2-year, well, they're both 2-year positions, so one will be coming back next year, and it's kind of a learning opportunity.
Sure.
And then we also have 2 business chairs. They're the ones that rent the vans from campus, and they bring all the members here.
Wonderful.
So they're working all day just like we are,
kind of
driving
transporting people back and forth. Sure, because not everyone obviously has a vehicle
No.
when they're at school.
Right.
So we've talked about and highlighted the cheese stand because it's conveniently right out the window. And can you talk about where the funds raised for the cheese stand, because we understand that's one of the largest fundraisers for the Dairy Club, where those go and what the club does with those funds after World Dairy Expo?
So a lot of our proceeds we use for advocacy on campus. So we do a lot of advocating for dairy, mostly around campus, stuff like that, to just kind of let students know what we do in the dairy industry as a whole.
Absolutely.
And then in addition to that, we go to the ADSA conference every year, and so that's a really good opportunity for us to attend seminars and learn more amongst ourselves. And then we also go on a spring trip every year just as a reward for all the hard work we do.
That's wonderful. So we'll have the close of World Dairy Expo today at 5, but obviously your work is not done, and then you have to, be a student again, like on Monday morning or as soon as possible. How does that transition work? What does the next day and a half look like for you, and how do you catch up on your schoolwork?
Well, many of you would probably think we go right to bed, but we can't. We have to start studying right away. And a lot of us chairs have actually had exams this week. So we've all been working around our school schedule even now. And so when we get back next week, it'll be a lot of catch up. Almost as stressful as this week, I would say.
Right, yeah, exactly. So, and I think too, having as a BDC alum, you realize we're so fortunate to have World Dairy Expo in our backyard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such an incredible opportunity, I think, for so many. It just plants that seed of passion for the event. Have you missed many classes? Which I realize is probably a loaded question. And how will you even begin that catch-up?
Well, a lot of the professors are very understanding. They understand that World Dairy Expo is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us, being able to work there and being the behind the scenes that no one really knows is there. So it's a great opportunity, and they understand that, and they work with us to make sure we can take part in this. So once we get back, we'll just kind of jump in the swing of things and see how it goes.
So as we wrap up our interview, so you said you're a senior. Will you be graduating in May?
Yep, that's the
And
plan.
what's your goal for after you graduate, or what are you hoping to do?
I'm hoping to find a career in agriculture, something where I can work alongside farmers, helping them achieve their goals and their dreams.
That's awesome. Well, thank you,
Yep,
Riley.
thank you.
Please thank all of the chairs, all of the BDC students that are working, certainly on behalf of the Expo staff, but on all of us here at the show, because just the work that you go does not go unnoticed. Please, we truly appreciate it. And with that, thank you, Riley, and we'll hear a word from our sponsors.
The newest member of Dairy Tech's herd was bred to help you with the newest member of yours. She's the perfect cross of Dairy Tech pasteurization technology and the simplicity of the perfect udder colostrum management system. At half the price of any competitive product on the market, pasteurizing and warming your colostrum has never been easier or more cost-effective. Say hello, Matilda. Check her out at perfectudder.com.
Welcome back. You're looking live outside our pavilions. You can see some of the Holstein cows making their way to the ring. This is an exciting day at World Dairy Expo, obviously the last day. We see the Holstein cows. That show gets started at 8 o'clock this morning and will go well into the afternoon. Certainly, I mean, the most impressive cattle in North America are gracing the colored shavings. At the place where the global dairy industry meets, education will always be a pillar that World Dairy Expo is built on. Today's final Expo seminar will be given by Dr. Jack H. Britt and will be a look ahead as he discusses learning from the future, dairying in 2068. Again, this seminar is eligible for 1 ARPAS credit and 1 RACE credit. Dr. Britt's seminar will take place at 11 a.m. in the Exhibition Hall, Mendota Room 2, or you can watch it right here live on Expo 360. The virtual farm tour will follow at noon and feature Benson Brothers, Incorporated from McBain, Michigan. This seminar is sponsored by Waikato Milking Systems and features the dairy's 60-cow rotary milking parlor with the first of its kind lightweight platform. You do not want to miss it. In case you aren't able to be on grounds today, and as I mentioned earlier, you can view the Expo seminars and virtual farm tours on worlddairyexpo.com live. In addition, they'll be posted after the show. And with that, we're going to take a real quick break before we bring our next guest back.
The newest member of Dairy Tech's herd was bred to help you with the newest member of yours. She's the perfect cross of Dairy Tech pasteurization technology and the simplicity of the perfect udder colostrum management system. At half the price of any competitive product on the market, pasteurizing and warming your colostrum has never been easier or more cost-effective. Say hello, Matilda. Check her out at perfectudder.com.
This week, cattle exhibitors have been working very hard to keep their show strings and displays looking top-notch. We've shared a bit of a glimpse into the weather, but Mother Nature has not been very accommodating. In fact, I think we've had 3 out of 4 seasons that Wisconsin sees just no snow, thank goodness. Winning the overall herdsmanship award at World Dairy Expo 2018 is the Allendale string of Cannon, Connecticut. Friday's Daily Herdsmanship Award went to Warwick Manor of East Earle, Pennsylvania. And winning today's Daily Herdsmanship Award is Jonathan Beeler and the crew from Trueview in Fredericksburg, Pennsylvania. Yesterday, Herdsmanship Awards were also presented to zone winners in our pavilion. Pavilion 1, Zone 1 in Allendale from Cannon, Kentucky is the winner. In Pavilion 1, Zone 2, we have the crew from Show and Style Cattle Company of Orangeville, Illinois. In Pavilion 2, Zone 1, we have River Valley Farm from Tremont, Illinois. The folks from MD Hillbrook in Thurmont, Maryland worked so hard they were the winners in Pavilion 2, Zone 2. Moving a bit further back, Pavilion 2, Zone 3, Woodmore Jerseys of Bloomer, Wisconsin were our herdsmanship winners. Across the way, Pavilion 2, Zone 4 was Lazy M Farm of Stitzer, Wisconsin. Then we have in Pavilion 2, Zone 5, Fudge Dairy of Camille, Kentucky, as well as Brandenburgs of Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. Our winners in Pavilion 2, Zone 6 were the folks from Mapleton Valley Farm and Horseshoe Hill Farm of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. And in the tent, Rosedale Genetics of Oxford, Wisconsin was our winner. Congratulations to all these cattle exhibitors for all your hard work, not only in the show ring, but keeping those strings looking so immaculate throughout the week. And a special thank you to our award sponsor, Select Sires. Commercial exhibitor booths were also presented by Econoprint. We've shared some of those with you throughout the week, and that happened again yesterday in the trade show. Winning the small booth award was Silo Stop. You can see them here on the screen. They did an awesome job. Our intermediate champion booth award went to Dairy 1. And the folks from Artex Barn Solutions Limited were presented the large booth award. During the past week, we've embarked upon a journey full of activities for all generations. With a nod to the future, we have explored the next frontier. Indeed, the future of the dairy industry was well represented this week with various youth contests, from Sunday's fitting contest to the various judging contests, FFA activities, and Thursday evening's youth showmanship contest. In addition, World Dairy Expo also welcomed 4th grade students from around the area to take a tour of the grounds and learn the real story of dairy accurately and directly from those of us who have lived it and breathed it our whole lives. The future was represented in Expo's world-renowned trade show, too, where attendees had the privilege of connecting with a record 891 participating companies. These companies offered a chance for attendees to navigate around the world and see the latest technology and advancements available to the global dairy industry. As a matter of fact, of those 891 companies, they came from 31 countries, 6 Canadian provinces, and 44 US states. And speaking of the global dairy industry, it just keeps getting more and more impressive. We once again welcome friends from around the world with 2,206 international registered guests from 91 different countries taking part in the 2018 show as of this morning. This week, more than 2,300 head of the finest dairy cattle in the world have settled into Madison. They have been admired in the pavilions and judged with care in the show ring. Tonight, one of them will walk the colored shavings and be honored as the supreme champion of the 52nd World Dairy Expo. And for the first time, we'll also be selecting a supreme champion heifer of the show. And for all that, we owe a very sincere thanks to everyone. After the break, we'll hear from a couple that's had an extraordinarily jam-packed week, and they don't even get a break this evening as they'll share a bit about their role in tonight's closing ceremony.
The newest member of Dairy Tech's herd was bred to help you with the newest member of yours. She's the perfect cross of Dairy Tech pasteurization technology and the simplicity of the perfect udder colostrum management system. At half the price of any competitive product on the market, pasteurizing and warming your colostrum has never been easier or more cost-effective. Say hello, Matilda. Check her out at perfectudder.com.
Joining me now are Corey Geiger and Krista Knigge, two of our incredible volunteers that have been working so hard throughout the week of World Dairy Expo. Let's start by just giving us a rundown of your week.
Well, I love cows and I love the dairy people here, to be honest, and I come rolling on the grounds about 6 a.m. on Sunday morning, and I'm superintendent of the college judging contest now in its 98th year. So we do it's Selection Sunday, and I consider the college contest the NCAA championship for dairy cattle judging, and then return to the grounds on Monday about 5, and I walked out of here at 11:15 and 15.5 miles on my Fitbit here.
Gosh.
And then Tuesday starts, and of course my full-time job is with Hordes Dairyman, but interweave that. Tuesday morning I emceed the Council on Dairy Cattle Breeding meeting here in Exhibition Hall, one of the earlier seminars of the week, from 8 to 1, and then did some of my work responsibilities and volunteer activities, and actually today I'm generally down in the show ring as we continue to monitor the cows and health and well-being of them, and working with Dr. Sheila McGurk.
That's wonderful. And Chris, what's your week entailed?
So I've also had a very busy and productive week. I am the administrator at the Division of Agricultural Development at the Department of Agriculture, Trade and Consumer Protection for the state of Wisconsin. So we've been hosting some international delegations, Middle East, India, Indonesia, Australia, just to name a few, and Latin America. So we've been hosting them as they're having conversations with buyers and people that they want to connect with here in the dairy industry, because this is the dairy mecca, right?
Right.
And we've also hosted a seminar on dairy labor issues earlier in the week. And it's been a very productive week, met a lot of connections, and it's been really a great time to meet people. Even the Lieutenant Governor for the state of Wisconsin and Governor Walker came by yesterday afternoon to meet some of the dairy farmers and some of the Wisconsin companies that are here.
That's wonderful.
And might I add, when you were touring with the governor, and the building we're in here, Pavilion 1 and 2, the New Holland Pavilions, it was that incredible synergy of World Dairy Expo Board of Directors, Dane County, and the state of Wisconsin that brought this to reality and breathed life into it, and really made the next generation of World Dairy Expo up and running.
No doubt about it. I think along with the Midwest Horse Fair also contributed. I mean, it really is incredible. I mean, to think that we were, to get everybody on the same page and have that true vision that this is where World Dairy Expo needs to be, but we need to build this so that we can, be prepared for the next frontier, for the future to come. That's awesome. So how do you build on all the activity, all the connections, everything from this week, when you have to go back to your normal jobs, on Monday or probably even tomorrow?
Well, I have 3 pages left in my journal that started out at 60 pages blank, so there'll be quite a bit of follow-up here. And it's actually, I consider this is my biggest networking event of the year. And the conversations that I have will bear fruit years to come. And one of those was actually we launched our 4th edition, language edition of Hordes Dairyman, our Chinese Hordes Dairyman China here, and been getting a lot of positive buzz on that. So the things that you start here in a conversation may take a year or 2 or even more to breathe life into them and bring them to reality.
Absolutely. Congratulations. That's super exciting. How about for you, Krista?
It's super exciting this week, and so kind of building on the momentum from what we've done, and like Corey, made a lot of contacts this week. I look forward to meeting some new people and continuing the conversations that started here this week.
Can you tell us, you guys have a long storied volunteer and work effort and time here at World Dairy Expo. How did it get started? How did your passion for the show, and I mean, the industry, we know, many of us, it was born inherently into us, but what about the show?
One of my favorite stories, I had never been to the show until I qualified to represent the state of Wisconsin in our 4-H dairy cattle judging team, and I walked into the Coliseum and the shavings, and I just sat there in awe, and I'm like, I want to be part of this.
Right.
And I sat and looked around so much. I didn't do so well in the air shares, but did well the rest of the day.
There you go.
And I was hooked ever since. And I love being with dairy people. I love their work ethic, the passion they have for their cattle, and anything I can do to help make their experience here better is how I approach life.
That's right, exactly.
For me, it was a little different. My first experience at World Dairy Expo was in college as a student at UW-Madison and part of the Badger Dairy Club. So I helped make some of those amazing grilled cheese sandwiches when I was in college, and that's where I first got exposed to the show and the people, right? The people are really great in this industry, and that's why I'm so glad to be a part of it and be here.
Exactly. You know, it's so funny because I try to make grilled cheese sandwiches for my kids at home, or, you know, when you try and make them home, I don't think they're ever quite as good as when you have them here. I think it might be, I don't put enough butter on it. I don't
Extra
know, something
butter.
like that,
You need the
or
butter.
the coated griddle.
One issue we didn't have this year with all the rain, 2 years I co-chaired that, and the temperatures were in the 80s all week.
Oh
and
my
I went
gosh,
to
right,
all the McDonald's franchises to get the mix
sure,
for the
right,
malts
right,
because we ran out on Thursday.
Yeah. So quickly shifting gears to this evening. So we have would you give us a glimpse into the really special, super cool role that the two of you will have in the Supreme Ceremony tonight?
Some of our friends and colleagues know that Corey and I have got a hobby together the past couple years, and we've been dancing. So we are super excited to be a part of the Supreme Ceremony. And if you'd like to see us dance live, catch us at 4 o'clock for the Supreme Champion Ceremony.
That's awesome. And how did you get your start in doing that in all your free time? Because clearly, I mean, it sounds like your schedules are pretty booked, but how did you make time for that?
It's date night.
There you go, nice.
Very simple.
We bought a Groupon about 6 years ago, and that got us started in dancing, and we kept up with it. It's been fun.
We've been dancing ever since, and a couple years ago we had the fortune of being on Family Feud with Krista's family, and throughout the audition process, which was quite lengthy, and eventually meeting Steve Harvey, my moniker was the Dancing Dairyman, so we're going to bring the Dancing Dairyman to the Colored Shavings tonight. Right about 4 o'clock.
That's awesome. You guys, thank you for all that you do for World Dairy Expo. Thank you for being one of the so many salt-of-the-earth people that is World Dairy Expo, and all the people within the dairy industry that share this inherent passion that is in all of us. So thank you, and have an awesome evening tonight. We cannot wait to see you in the Supreme Ceremony.
We're looking
Thanks,
forward to
Laura.
it. Laura.
Awesome. Thank you. It wouldn't be the WXPO newscast if we didn't share the amazing work the Master's Choice team did again with the vlog. Today's video salutes the hard work of our Expo volunteers.
Welcoming 70,000 guests to World Dairy Expo Madison, Wisconsin is no small feat, and something that the staff at World Dairy Expo certainly could not do alone. So we're very grateful to have nearly 500 volunteers that help us pull this entire thing off. They are volunteering in every aspect of the show, from the show ring, judging contests on Monday. They're volunteering in the show ring during the breed shows. They're in the trade show checking in commercial exhibitors. They are helping with the World Dairy Expo school tours. They are the heartbeat of World Dairy Expo, and we certainly are glad to have them a part of our show.
I'm working with the Purple Cow people. Love it. Love it. Love the attendance. Love the people we work with. It's a joy. It's probably been close to 15 or 20 years.
And we showed cattle here for probably the first 20 years. I was on the board and they needed some help. started helping check in cattle in the ring. It's been a lot of fun.
It's a wonderful event. This is my first time. Helping people find their way around here is a whole new experience. I'm overwhelmed. I think it's just fabulous. People are so friendly here. The cows are beautiful. It's really an awesome show.
To all our volunteers, we just want to say a heartfelt thank you for everything you do for us and for everything you do for World Dairy Expo. We appreciate it.
That's all the time that we have on this final broadcast of WXPO News for the 2018 show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I just personally want to extend a huge, sincere, heartfelt thanks to the entire Token Creek crew. They're just the brains, the beauty, the brawn. They make it all happen with these broadcasts and are just the most incredible group to work with. So thank you from all of us. And we hope to see you here next year for the 53rd edition of World Dairy Expo, October 1st through 5th, 2019. Mark it on your calendars, jot it down, mark it down. The theme will be Tools for Dairy's Progress as we share more results, stories, and moments right here on Expo 360.